On a cold October day in 1884, a young woman lay dying in Paris. She was only 25 years old. Her lungs had been slowly destroyed by tuberculosis, the illness that haunted so many lives in the 19th century. But what makes this moment even more tragic is that the young woman knew it was coming. For years she had written about it in her diary. She wrote about time running out, about her fear of dying before the world truly recognized her talent, about her burning desire to become famous. Her name was Marie Bashkirtseff. Today she is remembered not only for her paintings, but for one of the most extraordinary diaries ever written by an artist. A diary that reveals the inner life of a brilliant, ambitious young woman fighting against illness, society, and time itself, which raises an important question. Why did such a gifted artist feel such urgency, such anxiety, such desperation to be recognized before it was too late? To understand that, we must return to the beginning. Marie Bashkirtseff was born in 1858 in Poltava, then part of the Russian Empire. She was born into a wealthy aristocratic family. Her childhood was surrounded by luxury, large estates, servants, and the cultural refinement of the European upper class. But her family life was far from peaceful. Her parents' marriage collapsed when she was still a child. Her father left the family. Marie was raised primarily by her mother and extended relatives. This unstable, emotional environment left a deep impression on her personality. From a very young age, Marie developed a powerful sense of ambition. She wanted to be extraordinary. She wanted to be remembered. In 1870, when Marie was only 12 years old, her family began traveling across Europe. They lived in Vienna, Rome, and eventually settled in Paris. Paris at the time was the artistic capital of the world. Writers, musicians, and painters filled its cafes, academies, and salons. Marie was determined to become part of that world. But her first dream was not painting, it was music. She wanted to become a great opera singer. For several years she trained intensely as a vocalist. She had talent and discipline, but fate intervened again. Marie developed a serious throat illness. Her doctors warned that continuing to sing could permanently damage her voice. Her dream of becoming an opera star collapsed. For many young people, this might have been devastating. But Marie redirected her ambition. If she could not become famous through music, she would become famous through art. In the late 1870s, she enrolled at the Accademia Giulietta, one of the few institutions in Paris that accepted women. At the time, female artists faced enormous restrictions. They were not allowed to study freely at the official academies. They had limited access to life drawing classes. And the professional art world remained dominated by men. But Marie was determined. She worked obsessively, sometimes painting for 10 or 12 hours a day. Her teachers quickly recognized her talent and dedication. By the early 1880s, Bashkirtseff began exhibiting her paintings at the Paris Salon, the most important exhibition for artists in France. Having a painting accepted into the Salon was a major achievement, and Marie succeeded. Her work attracted attention. Critics noticed her ability to capture everyday life with emotional depth and realism. One of her most famous works, The Meeting, shows a group of street boys gathered together, capturing youth, curiosity, and quiet tension in a simple scene. Her career was beginning to take shape, but time was already working against her. Behind the scenes, Marie was fighting a losing battle with tuberculosis. The illness gradually weakened her body. She suffered from fatigue, coughing, and constant physical decline, but she refused to slow down. In her diary, she wrote openly about her fear of dying young. She knew the disease might kill her, and that knowledge created an overwhelming urgency. She painted faster, worked harder, wrote more intensely. At the same time, her diary reveals an extraordinary inner life. She wrote about ambition, love, loneliness, and the struggle of being a woman artist in a male-dominated world. She wanted recognition, not just polite appreciation. She wanted greatness. She once wrote that she wanted to live as if I were going to die tomorrow. In many ways, she already understood that she might. By 1884, her condition had become critical. Her body could no longer fight the disease. Surrounded by her family in Paris, Marie Bashkirtseff died at the age of 25. She left behind unfinished paintings, but also something else, her diary. When her journal was published after her death, it caused a sensation across Europe. Readers were captivated by the voice of this young artist who had written so honestly about ambition, creativity, illness, and the desire to leave a mark on the world. Today, Marie Bashkirtseff is remembered not only as a painter, but as one of the most revealing chroniclers of the inner life of an artist. Her story reminds us of something important. Art history often celebrates masterpieces, but behind those works are human lives, fragile, complicated, and sometimes painfully short. Marie Bashkirtseff painted with urgency because she understood something most of us try to forget. Time is limited, and the desire to create something meaningful can become stronger than fear itself. If you enjoyed this documentary and want to help bring these forgotten stories back into the light, please consider supporting the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with others. Because here we're not just looking at art, we're exploring the lives behind it. And sometimes those lives are as powerful as the works they leave behind. Every like helps this message travel further. Every subscription helps more people discover the artists behind the art, their struggles, their battles to be recognized, and the powerful stories history nearly forgot. Together, we can make sure their work, their courage, and their legacy are finally seen. Thank you for being part of bringing these remarkable artists back into history.